All right, I made it back home. At least that's what it feels like. Getting ready to start my fire for the night. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last night. Find a piece of bark that's soaked in pitch. See if I can get some of this off. Oh, there we go. Try and find the driest stuff possible. I'm gonna set the camera down, get some more wood on there. For dinner tonight, I'm doing some sweet potato. Give myself a nice bed to put it in. There we go. We'll just bury that right there, and it can stay in there for a good long while if it's covered. That side certainly feels done. Well, it's been a bit of a disappointing day. I was hoping to have crab instead of pork, but nothing wrong with a little bit of pig. Let's see how she's doing. You know what would be really nice right about now? A fork. Sweet potato is nice and squishy now. You can smell it too. It smells good. Pretty amazing. You can leave these things for so long. But you can see there's just a little bit that basically just the skin is charred and the rest of it's fine. The very center isn't done, but that's all right. We're allowed to eat food that isn't all the way done out here. There's nobody we have to impress, so we can do what we want. All right, let's get some butter in there. Oh, that was hot. Just a little bit grainy, but most of it is done, so it's just delicious. Being a little stiffer actually makes it easier to eat. I can stab it instead of having to scoop it. Oh. Wow, that is just fine. Not too salty. Just the right amount of pepper for my taste. And since I'm the only one here, my taste is the only one that matters. I know it's not crab, but if nobody reminds me, I'll still be happy with the meal I've got. This is fantastic. Another chunk of the pork. Oh yeah. Now that I'm eating, I'm remembering just how thirsty I am. Melting snow in an uncovered pot gives you really smoky water, but I'm thirsty enough now. I'm not too sure I care. Oh, could almost forget that it's raining out here. All right, there we go. Let that do its thing while I enjoy my meal. I think it's time for dessert. I still have firewood to cut, but I might as well get started on it. Oh yeah, that is glorious. I am not an expert baker. Truth be told, I've only made traditional bread a handful of times, but fry bread is pretty simple, and I really like eating it. So I make fry bread, and I'll roast bread dough on a stick. That's about the extent of my bread making abilities. It's almost like watching dough rise or something. Shouldn't be as exciting as it is, but I'm excited. Because I know what it's going to taste like when it's done. Doesn't sound like they want to keep it down tonight. Throwing a party over there on the grass. Wonder if they've got anything good to eat. That should be about the way we want it. Would you look at that? Alright, let's split this thing right down the middle. It's still piping hot. Huh. Something's playing in the brush over there. Hopefully it's nothing too big. Startled me a bit though. And this is gourmet dining. Other than losing the crab pot, this has been a fantastic day. The craziest thing just happened. I was finishing up my dessert and I felt something stab me in the arm, which is odd because my arm was just pushing up against my side. Look what I found. That is a porcupine quill, and I don't know where it came from. I'm guessing it showed up from when I was laying down there, but I don't see any more. I did find a very small bone. And one, man, it would be kind of lame if I'm on top of a porcupine graveyard. But I don't see any others. Hopefully I don't put a whole bunch of holes in my rain gear. That would be less than ideal for sure. My battery bank had more juice in it than I thought it would. I plugged in my light and my last GoPro battery and got it up to about 60% while I continued to cut firewood. I got enough firewood. I think I will have plenty for the night, but in so doing I worked up a bit of a sweat, so I had to get down to the base layer, and now I'm trying to dry off before I go to bed. Going to bed sweaty is never a good idea. It's about 5 in the morning. This will be the third time I've gotten up, except for this time I didn't get up because I was cold. Between last night and tonight, the wind has always been blowing that way. Well, the wind shifted so that it was blowing right in my face, and I woke up 100% thinking that I was on fire. So I had a nice little panic there. Ugh. I don't even need to throw wood on the fire. But I'm awake nonetheless. Hopefully I can get back to sleep. Problem with not having any kind of a sleeping bag or shelter is using a campfire for your warmth. It only warms up one side of you at a time. So I do a lot of tossing and turning. It's not the most restful sleep, but it's better than, I guess, shivering and shaking all night. I'm gonna try and go back to sleep. Good morning, everybody. I feel like I was just getting my very best sleep, and a bunch of crows decided to wake me up. We don't have crows in the interior of Alaska. They're excited about something, but it's not a sound I'm used to hearing, so that's probably
probably what woke me up. Oh man, I was sleeping really nicely, finally. Oh well, I got up again at 6 o'clock to put the rest of the wood on the fire. Actually worked out about perfectly. It's still putting out lots of heat, but it should burn down enough to be a good cooking fire. And then I can just throw a bunch of snow on it before I head out. Oh, I can really hear the surf a lot more than I could yesterday. I wonder why that is. Looks like another beautiful day. It's not raining. Let's walk down here and see what the water looks like. I think peak of high tide is in another hour or so, but this is probably pretty close to how high it's going to get. It's sure beautiful. If it didn't rain 300 days a year, I might move here. But I like sunshine more than that. I better get breakfast and pack camp up, such as it is. So I sit here munching on my bacon. I'm thinking on the trip as a whole. It's been a really good trip. I don't really have the right words to say how frustrated I am with dropping my crab pot. That is a big bummer. If I hadn't been spending so much time focused on that, I would have built a much more comfortable shelter, would have slept a little better. However, the weather has been fantastic, and I've gotten to see a different part of the world than I've ever spent any time in. This is a beautiful place. I'm glad I came here. And as painful as learning experiences are sometimes, I guarantee I'll do a better job crabbing next time. And there's gonna be a next time, for sure. I don't know if it'll be here, but I will go somewhere and I'm gonna try crabbing out of a small boat again. Well, it's been a good trip. I don't see any more of my stuff laying around. I've got the fire covered in snow. I think I'm gonna head home. A lot of times you think you found a shortcut because you can choose a route that has less distance, but you have to pay attention to the terrain. If the shorter route goes through brush or swamp or something, man, it is well worth it to stick to a longer route that's easier to traverse. Shortcuts can end up being a lot more trouble than they're worth, but this one doesn't look too bad. I love all of these ice falls, but when there's ice on the ground and then water starts running over it, it gets pretty hazardous. There's a couple of spots up here that are absolutely deadly. I fell on my way in. Hopefully I can avoid that now that it's light, but it is really hard to stay on the trail when the trail is sloped over the edge and there's water with ice. Thankfully, there's, on most of these, there's just a little strip of gravel, but a couple of these I stepped on my way here. This is a bad one, but hopefully the snow isn't quite as slippery. Oh, no, it definitely is. Yikes. I think this must have been one of the ones that got me on my way in. I might have to bear crawl. Let's see here. Oh, that's not too bad. Just a little shuffle step. We can deal with that. But sure is pretty. I love this terrain. I don't think I'd want to climb that in a hurry. It would be fun to do though if I had lots of time. And it's straight up and down. Look at those trees. I know I keep talking about the trees, but it's because they're amazing. It's raining pretty hard out there now, but I'm mostly protected. Every time I come through a gap in the trees like this, I'll get raindrops, but as soon as I enter the tunnel again, they mostly stop, which I'm okay with, not being soaked.
That was the end of my GoPro battery life, therefore it's also the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I had a great time making the video, and if you saw something that you enjoyed, feel free to check out the rest of my channel. I'm currently on the lookout for another place to try my hand at crabbing, so if you know somewhere here in Alaska that I should try, please let me know down in the comment section below. Until next time, be good if you can and careful if you can't.